Grand Rising family. I wanted to rap to y'all real quick. I ain't got much time, but I'm on my walk. I'm finishing up, and it was just hitting me. I want to talk about marriage, right? And I know y'all like, Nate, want to talk about marriage. Yeah. My thing is, what I'm sitting here thinking is, what is marriage? I could sit in a round table with a handful of friends and family or random people, and we would come up with different uh, outlooks on marriage or definitions. So if I ask different people, if you're religious, you're going to be talking about holy matrimony and becoming one in God's eyes. I'm not that religious, so I'm more practical. Because I be thinking like a lot of guys. Okay, so is it the ceremony? Is it the ring? Is it the promise? Is it the monogamy? What part of it is actually marriage, separate from before you were married? I know guys, they split the bills, they live in the house, they monogamous, they even got kids. They got plans together, they got investments, shared bank accounts. And the woman still is bugging about getting married. And I'm like, what exactly do you want? I know women were sold a dream when they were kids. All women want to grow up and be married. Stand in front of a preacher and say I do and jump a broom. But that's just a ceremony. Marriage is just a word. There's a lot of situations. That's why the government would throw y'all would call y'all married without the ceremony and the ring. Because it's all the other things that actually matter, at least to them. So what matters to you? I know when I get married, it won't be a traditional ceremony. Definitely won't be no preacher there. I might propose with a house instead of a ring. So, we may or may not be monogamous. We can make that promise without marriage, right? So what is it? Is it a legal documentation? Because if it's something with the local laws, then I'm definitely out. When I get married, it's probably going to be on my own terms, my own agreement. It may be legal, it may be some type of business agreement, but it's going to be a marriage contract that we draw up, and not a certificate that's given to us because we're not capable of being married and showing it in society or whatever. But I'm just thinking a lot of women that complain about getting married got everything that marriage comes with, at least all the positive. That's why relationships, a lot of relationships go straight downhill right after the marriage, right after the proposal. Because all the good stuff you want in marriage, you already getting. You was already monogamous, you was already splitting bills, you was already living together, you was already having kids. It's the other things that come along. It's the ceremony and the expenses that come with that. It's the doing stuff in front of everybody, and now you have to not embarrass yourself by canceling the whole marriage 2 or 3 years later, right? So it's the extra promises, lifetime promises that you make that 10, 12, 20, 30 years down the road might be very difficult for not just for you, but for the relationship. Where otherwise you were going strong for 10 years and then just all tanks in the first one after marriage. So I don't have no point here. It's just a thought experiment, right? And I already know I'm different. And a lot of my thoughts are going to be different from the norm. But I like to share it anyway, you know? So for me, let's talk about me. For me, I've been in those situations where one woman's asking me about marriage, and I'm like, other than a ring and a ceremony and putting your business out to everybody, what is a marriage bringing that we don't already have, that we haven't already agreed on and doing well with, right? So I want y'all to think about that, because marriages ruin relationships sometimes. They ruin great relationships because you're putting your relationship under some foreign paradigm of this, this local European born government that we're under. You're stressed to be romantic, and you never been a Roman, don't get me started. But I just want y'all to think about that, because again, for me, I'm likely going to get married, but it's just going to be, for one, it's going to be a level of making her happy, which I think plays a part in all this. It's nothing practical. Us guys can't figure it out. We can't really figure out why everybody's getting married. We just have to kind of go along with it in public and in front of our women, right? But I'm gonna probably get married for one reason is, you know, the esteem of the woman. It plays a part. If it's hung up on that, then you just got to go with it. If she really, 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 really likes apples, then you just buy some apples, man. You know what I mean? The second thing, though, is for me, the marriage contract's a big thing. Like I'm gonna have to go into business with my wife. My wife is gonna have her own income and her own property, and we're gonna have to arrange that either ahead of time or at least in the process, because that's what I don't want. You know, to marry for money to ruin the marriage. Now that's the highest reason for divorce, even more than infidelity. And infidelity is fine when you got the bread, 80% of the time, right? So it's about a business contract for us. Our marriage contract gonna be a business contract. And depending on how our relationship goes, that's how the business is ran, or that's how the business adjusts. So, but other than that, and I'm just putting a name on that. We call that a business contract. Marriage is just a word, and it's a word that we all use with different concepts. So I got to go in here do this class. Y'all holla at me. Let me know what y'all think.